Hey everybody, welcome back to the Speakeasy. Welcome to 2025 again. Hope that you had a very great holiday season and a happy new year. Merry Christmas, happy Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. Just wanted to say thank you before we get off into this new series because I've got the official Yellowstone cocktail book, bar book as they call it. So what's cool about this thing is it's got, you can tell I got a lot of tabs here. This is 75 cocktails to enjoy after the work is done. So I'm assuming this was just created to capitalize on the Yellowstone phenomena that's going on. It's got stirred cocktails, shaken cocktails, beer and wine cocktails, shots, digestives, and aperitifs. So what I'm going to do over the next couple of months, each week, I'm going to pick one out of here, and I'm going to try to pick one that really applies to a particular character in the Yellowstone series, the 1883 series, and the 1923 series. Obviously, there's, the main characters, Beth, Rip, Casey, John, all those folks. And now Casey, I don't recall ever seeing him drink in the show. John basically just had straight whiskey, maybe an old fashioned. So they're going to be a little harder to pick for, or we might just have to pick one out of here that sounds interesting, assigned to them. But stay tuned because we're going to make some of these over the next couple of months and hopefully easy enough for you to make. There's a few in here, it's got some weird ingredients, but let's get started with the first one. So today's Yellowstone cocktail is going to be the Rip Roy in honor of Rip. Who else? So we're going to start off with an old-fashioned glass. We're going to get us a large cocktail ice cube in this case. We're going to let it acclimate a little bit there so that it won't crack and shatter whenever we pour the drink in there. Again, I'm using pre-made ice. I get this ice from a place called Vault Ice in Norman, Oklahoma. If you're local, you can go buy Norman. I paid for all this. They're not a sponsor. I just love their stuff. You can go get block ice like this. You can get round ice, which I need to go do. Just walk in there with cash, and they will hand you a box of this stuff right there. Or if you want to pay a little higher retail cost, go to the cellar in Norman. They sell it there on site over by the bourbon. All right, let's get into the cocktail. All right, so we're going to let this acclimate a little bit. We're going to get our mixing glass. And yes, I am going to be reading all these right out of this Yellowstone bar book I told you about. We're going to combine Scotch this time. I'm going to go with some Glenallachie 8-year single malt Scotch whiskey. We're going to go with 1 ounce of Scotch. Yeah. Well, some people have seen that before. I can't make that set in there. Okay. So 1 ounce of Scotch, 1 ounce of Mezcal. In this case, we're going with Código 1530 Mezcal Artisanal. This is going to be an expensive drink if you ask me. We're going to have 1 ounce of Sweet Vermouth. I might have 1 ounce left in there. Not much more. And then we're going to top that off with 2 dashes of Angostura Bitters. I always manage to miss it on something. Make a mess. Let me just clean this up. Then we're going to add ice. And we're going to stir, get this chilled down for 15 seconds. And then get our strainer, and we are going to, that is the wrong strainer. And then we are going to strain this over this ice cube. See, I really need that big round ice ball. I'm going to go get some of those. But then we're going to garnish this. In this case, I'm going to garnish with a couple of Woodford Reserve bourbon cherries. Grab that one out of there since it has a stem on it. Get rid of that stem. And there you are, folks, the Rip Roy. So this is a little different take on the Manhattan, seeing how it's got Mezcal and Scotch instead of a bourbon or a rye, but hey, I think I might like it. Wow, that smells smoky. That Mezcal and that Scotch together. That is definitely smoky. Now, you would probably have to have a little bit of a preference for peaty Scotch or smoky Mezcal to like that. I think that I've been looking for a long time to have some drinks to use Mezcal in. I think this is a good one. I really think that maybe even in the future, maybe swap out the Scotch with the bourbon, tone down the smokiness just a little bit. But I like this one, and I think you will too. The Rip Roy. Hey, thanks for watching today's Yellowstone cocktail. Come back and see us next week, see which one we're going to do. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. We'll see you next week here in the Speakeasy.